Hello, I'm Mike Weatherford. Welcome to the Mike Weatherford Show. My co-host, Billy Busey.
What's going on, Mike?
Oh, doing wonderful, man. How you been?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Just running wide open. You know me.
Yeah, I know you, man. You're a ball of energy.
Gotta go.
It's been hot, ain't it, man?
Oh, it's been warm.
You know, you've been in Florida out here.
Yes, I have.
Hot down there?
Good and hot.
It's hot here.
It's warm.
Oh, it's hotter than two mice making love in a wool sock out here today.
Look out.
That's hot. That's
kind
hot.
of woolly.
That's hot. Well, tell me something new, Billy. Anything exciting going on in your life that we need to get out there on the air? I mean, you're not gotten married, or you ain't had no babies, or no baby mamas chasing you. Or,
No, I ain't been doing none of that.
I know how you are. I'm just making sure ain't none of that going on.
No, or not getting married.
You're not getting married.
No.
You got divorced or anything?
No,
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm just window shopping.
what we're going to do is tell these people what we're all about, Billy.
Ooh.
What we need to do, we need to tell these folks that what we're doing is we got a little show here that we try to get our local leaders, our politicians, and just the average person to come in and can share with us what's going on, because we all get our news and information from social media, and we all know, Billy, that can be half-truths and rumors. So we hope this little show we've got can maybe put a little of that stuff to bed, Billy.
Oh, I believe it will.
Yeah, that's all we're trying to do. We're not politicians, we're not journalists, and we're not the media.
Nope.
We're just Billy and Mike trying to do a little show.
Two guys looking for some answers.
That's right. We've got a guy here tonight that is going to be some answers, man.
Oh, yeah.
Who
you got tonight?
I have got the City of Paris Mayor Carlton Gerrell coming out.
Oh, my goodness.
He's coming out, man. We're going to talk with him, and we're going to get some info out of him.
I got a few things I was kind of wondering about. I bet you're wondering that same thing.
There's a lot of things that the city mayor ought to know. I know he's probably getting hot. I think he's been running around the track out there because he exercises. Carlton, are you in the house? Come on in, brother. Yeah. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Sit down there and put your ears on.
All right.
So I can hear you.
Yes, sir. How are y'all doing tonight?
We're doing wonderful, man. I like I said, we really appreciate you, don't we, Billy?
Yes, sir.
Well, I appreciate y'all letting me be in here. It's an exciting time and privilege to sit among such esteemed gentlemen.
Well, who's that? Who's in
it's
here?
Steamed, all right.
Yeah, steamed. Oh, yeah. Steamy gentleman. That's what it said.
Yeah,
I knew it said something.
I didn't know what he said.
I said, well, sometimes I need your notes.
Yeah, we're not paying you, Carlton, so you ain't got to be nice.
You're fixing to find out here about my notes.
Carlton, give us a little history about yourself, who you are, what your title is, what you do, and just about your family. I want the people out there to know who the city mayor of our wonderful town is.
All righty. Well, thank you. Well, my name's Carlton Gerrell, and I have lived in Paris since 1993. My wife and I moved up here. I came to work, used to work in the food service business. I came to work for Kesterson Food Company in their sales department and did that until 2004. And at that point in time, I left and became the administrator and associate pastor at Tennessee Valley Community Church here in Paris. So that's
you're a
my
preacher also.
Yes, sir. That's my main job.
Man of many hats.
Main job. My wife is Dr. Norma Gerrell, and many of y'all know her as the director of the Paris Special School District. And we have two sons. They were both born in Paris, so we call ourselves they're Parisians. She and I are parasites. We were brought here.
Parasites.
Yeah, but they're Parisians.
Put that.
Yeah. So anyway, we have two boys. Trey is fixing to start his third year in law school at the University of Memphis. He is married to Emily Richardson, which is Dr. Bo Richardson's middle child. And then our youngest one is Scott, and he has just graduated from Union and is going to start at the University of Memphis in psychology. So
that house is full of education.
Oh, it is. Much of smart folks.
We got so many degrees, our walls bend in from all the diplomas.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you.
Billy, I don't know. We might have got in over our head on this one.
Hey, the wife's a smart one.
Yeah. I was raised on black eyed peas.
Oh, yeah.
So you married up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he married up.
Outpunting my coverage, all that stuff.
How come all of them say that?
To do?
Huh?
All of my guests say they marry up.
Well, they better say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got notes here what their wives tell me.
Yeah.
And right here they are, and y'all got it down pat. Nobody's ever lied to me.
Hey, why do you think I've been married for almost 33 years?
Well, lucky man. Mm-hmm. Tell me something, Carl. How long you been the city mayor?
I've been the city mayor. I'm on my third 4-year term, so I've been 13, roughly. No, this will be 11 years.
11 years.
11 years.
City mayor.
Well, actually, 11 years on the city council. I'm finishing up I'm in my third 2-year term, so it's been nearly 6 years as mayor. But city commissioner for for 3 terms, and city mayor for.
How is a city mayor elected? We don't vote for you. Is the county commissioners elect you?
No, it's funny how every year every 2 years, every time we have an election. There's 5 commissioners in this city of Paris, and they're all at large, meaning we don't have to be from any certain district. And every one 2-year term, there'll be 3 elected. The next time there'll be 2. So there's always 5 of us. And every time we have a new election, we pick one of those people to serve as the mayor. And
who's we?
We, the city commissioner. There's 5 of us.
So y'all vote amongst yourselves.
Yes, we vote in an open meeting there, and we decide who is going to be the mayor for the next year, or the next 2 years, actually. What most people don't realize, because there was a lot of questions about this when I ran for the county mayor, is like, how does this all work? Well, most people aren't aware that the city of Paris is what's called a city manager form of government.
That's what I was going to ask you. We have our city government structure. We have a city mayor, and we also have a city manager.
Right.
What does each other's job pertain to?
Well, our city manager is the person who's in charge of taking care of the day-to-day business and reports. All the department heads report to that person, which currently now is Kim Foster. That's your chief of police, your chief of the fire department, public works, parks department. Trying to remember who else is all in that category, and they report to her, and she takes care of the day-to-day business.
So she's the main one.
She's the main one. She's the one that makes it happen.
So what does the city mayor do in Paris?
The city mayor is...
You get there in the morning, somebody brings you coffee, and you prop your feet up, and are you more like the one on Andy Griffith show? Which one are you?
Well, I'd say like neither.
Neither.
Because I will tell you,
Griffith.
I have a lot of people that call and they say, where do I need to go in City Hall to meet you? And I go, well, I don't have an office there. They don't have an office. They don't have a mailbox. We've been pushed down to just a mail door in a closet. That's what we got, or in a cupboard. That's where we get our mail. So I may not go to City Hall but once or twice a month.
So that's really not a day-to-day job as a city mayor. So I think what you just told me is that you're elected among the commissioners. You're sort of like I would call it the leader of the commissioners.
That's what a lot of people don't realize inside the city government, particularly in Paris. Now, if I was a full-time elected mayor and drew my 100% of my salary like the county mayor does, it'd be a whole different story. But all we do is the city commissioners are essentially responsible for setting the city budget, hiring and firing the city manager, setting the tax rate, and setting city policy. And we are elected as a representation of the people of Paris, and we're there to represent them and oversee what goes on in the city, kind of like a board of directors. Same thing is exactly how the school system works, the Paris Special School District. They hire the elected officials, pick that director, which is my wife in that case, and they do those same 4 things: set policy, work with the director, set tax rate, and approve the budget. Same thing with the county school board. The only thing different in the county government itself is they're all elected officials. So we just really serve. The mayor is more of a title,
right?
But
does your vote as a city commissioner, does it carry more weight than the average guy? So you can't override.
No,
so
there's no veto.
5 of you just voting.
Right.
So
how long has this been set up like this?
To the best of my knowledge, like 1923.
1923.
It's somewhere back in the early, when the city. It may have even been before then. I meant to look that up before I came here, but it's been around a whole long time.
Is it a good kind of government to run City of Paris on?
Every government structure has its pros and cons.
What's the good part about it?
I mean, it takes.
Find any.
Well, I say, yeah. No, I mean, everything is, every job or every position or every organization is the betterment or the health of that organization or that group is always key on the people you got there. It's like your shop. What if you got a bunch of mechanics that aren't doing a good job?
That's right. I agree.
But if you got, I don't know if you're big enough, like you having a foreman, you're probably the foreman, chief bottle washer, and you're all.
My daughter is.
Okay.
She runs it.
Okay. Well, see, that same thing there. So the success of the city, where the mayor and our commissioners, we represent the people, and people come to us. We try not to get involved in the quote day to day. Like, I don't call Public Works and say, hey, I need you to go over here and cut this grass, or call. Now, I do get involved, but I try to be an asset to those department heads rather than somebody calling wanting me to get something done.
So the city manager runs the day-to-day operations of the city of Paris. Yes. The mayor, along with his city commissioners, basically just vote on what the city manager can do, basically what they give them to do.
Right.
Which brings me to the case of we just raised our property taxes,
yes,
didn't we? Why did we do that?
Well, several different reasons, and if everybody remember, when it was put out in the paper and it was put on media, it was a split vote. I mean, none of us like to hear raise our taxes.
No, that's not a good word.
No,
that's
all.
That's an oxymoron.
Well, I got a question. Do you still charge the same amount to change an
No,
oil?
sir. No, sir.
So you mean I still can't get a 1995 oil change with 5 quarts of oil and
you're a smart
filter?
Man. You're getting ahead of me. I was going to ask you, when's the last time we had a tax increase?
Well, I'll stop back up. That's what most people. I don't like to pay taxes. Everybody forgets that. Guess what? I got to pay those same taxes that everybody else has.
Sure, you do.
And so
Tater told me that he didn't get free electric from all that road out there. So evidently, you have to pay your taxes too.
You know what? I even have to pay my own electric, and I've been accused when the city used to own BPU that I got free electricity on that social media page that you talk about.
There you go. See here, Billy, do you think we've got a good venue right here to allow you to put them rumors to rest?
Absolutely.
It needs to be done.
No, I love it. I mean, some of the stuff, of course, social media in itself, and I hate to say social media junkie because I try to spend days where I don't look at it, but
it's hard to do.
I enjoy sometimes the theatrics.
Well, I've noticed that.
And I'm one of those that always want to put up the Michael Jackson. I want to put up the little Michael Jackson eating popcorn gif on everything because I'm just here to watch a show.
I get on there and I watch a lot of stuff that goes on, and I've noticed that people tag you on Facebook, and not other social media platforms, but on Facebook, you're always tagged when they got something about the city of Paris. And Carlton, and I'm not buttering you up, speaking of buttered popcorn, but you do a good job of getting on there and trying to tell them what's going on, but it's like they don't read it. It's like they see what you said. I don't want to bring no particulars, but you might say this is what we need to do, and this is how you get this done. And it's 2 or 3 posts below it, they go right back to what you was trying to stop. Yeah. But we're getting back to our taxes before we wander, because me and you both wanderers. We talk a lot.
Yeah.
We wander
rabbit trails.
We'll run down the rabbit hole in a minute.
All that stuff.
Yeah. Did y'all consider all possible cuts?
Yes.
And how can you reassure old Mike and old Billy over here that works hard? And I work out in this heat.
Yes, sir, you do.
And it is hot, and my dollar is made by the sweat of my brow. How can you, sitting right here, Mr. Carlton Gerrell, the city mayor, look at me and tell me, Mike, we've done everything possible for years to keep your taxes low, and we've looked at every way possible to cut, and it just ain't no way there. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, I'm going to back up some too, kind of give you a little history.
Do the beat, Billy.
Yeah.
Beep, beep. Yeah, he's backing
I got
up.
you. I'm good. Yeah. So anyway, when and this kind of answer some of the questions, but I had never really thought about politics. I had never thought about getting in. I've just always been a guy. I mean, I've done leadership roles all through college and always looked for ways to serve people. I've been involved in the community for years, even way beyond me being the city commissioner and a mayor through scouts. And I just volunteer. I just like to see things get done. And one day I was approached by a gentleman that's no longer living anymore. He said, you ever thought about running for city commissioner? And I go, no. Why would I want to do that? Put your name on a ballot. If you want to know something that is nerve-wracking, put your name on a public ballot and let that be called out.
I have run for the county line once. It had the whole city behind me.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Yeah,
I can see it. Yeah, what about Billy? Has he got any good stories like that?
He was my running mate.
Oh.
We run.
The secret to winning? outrunning your running mate.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what
like
me and
a
Billy
bear.
did, we was running for the county line. The whole city is behind us.
Yeah, there you go. See?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's
City
all
and
right.
county.
Yeah,
both counties.
All 35,000 was
That's
looking
right.
for y'all.
Yeah.
But anyway, I did it, and they said, well, there's some things going on up here, and you seem like you got a good level head, and you like to, help people, and then just, another said, we're looking for people to be on city council, to be on. There's all kinds of committees.
We have a council or a commission?
Commission. I'm sorry, it's an interchangeable word.
Let me
Commission.
butt in. I'm doing better about butting in, but I hear that a lot. City councils. We don't have a city council.
Yeah, we've got a city commission.
There you go. That's a
But
difference.
we also have different boards inside that, like alcohol, beverage,
Sure.
planning commission. Those boards. We're always looking for people to serve on those boards, but they have to live inside the city limits. And then finding the people, to me, that have the right mix to be a part of that. Like
Sure.
you just don't want any Tom, Dick, Harry, Joe, or
Mike, or
Karen.
Billy, or
Mayo.
nobody
No,
like
but
that.
hey, I don't know. I think you might bring some entertainment value
It
to
might
it.
be
But anyway,
entertainment.
so I got on there, and the city had gone through some changes, and up until a few years ago, the city had not increased property tax rates for 25 years.
Wow.
There was a point in time where the city had a fund balance, and fund balance is another name for savings, like
Rainy day fund.
rainy day fund. I mean, if you don't have one in your own household, you got a problem. Something happens, you got to do.
I'm a business owner, and I have I have what we call padding. And when
Yeah.
I worry is when I start bouncing off that padding.
Yes.
That
Well, that's
means
okay.
you got something going on.
Well, then you're headed right down. So we didn't do it. So a few years ago, we finally enacted a tax increase of about 7 cents. Now, we're
When was
talking
this?
6 years ago,
Okay.
about 7 cents.
Related into 7 cents turns into how many dollars in y'all's in
Every
budget?
penny, we get $20,000.
So 7 cents, y'all got approximately
$100,000 out of a $13 million budget.
That's nothing.
Right.
That's nothing.
And see, that's what we got to get at. See, everybody will always, all they do is to raise 3 cents. Well, what does it really mean to you as an individual and you as a business owner? And how does it impact your house? So, and then we actually decreased it after we had the last referendum on the sales tax increase. We went back. And then last year we did less than a penny, just to round it up, so it was a round number. And so we felt it was time. And go ahead. Do you want to?
Yeah, I have a problem when and not with raising taxes. What you did was a minute amount. I agree 100%. But you add that to the state taxes. You add that to being. I'm talking about from a business owner standpoint.
Right, I understand. Yeah.
Every tax that I have to pay, it adds up. I can look at it and say, well, it cost me $1,000 a month just in payroll taxes. No more than that. I'm talking about just in crazy taxes.
Yes,
and then when you go up from that, say, well, we're only going to charge you. We're only going to go up $200 a year. Well, that's another $200. Yeah, and I understand where you're coming from. It's not a small amount, but we got to remember we got more than just City of Paris taxes.
Yes, absolutely.
There's a lot of taxes, and I hope that, and that's what I'm trying to give you a chance to say, is I'm hoping that when y'all are making your decisions to raise our taxes, you're understanding that it's a bigger area than just a little ball you're looking at.
I know.
What else is the local taxpayers been hit with? What other taxes has been going on?
Right.
That don't pertain to the City of Paris.
Right. I know.
When you add them all,
the gas tax.
that's right. When you add all that together, we get a pretty good hit.
Yeah.
But on the other end, City of Paris does an excellent job. I can be I'm a double-edged sword. You've been warned about me. I'm double-edged. I cut both ways.
Yep.
Sure, I don't want to pay no taxes no more than I have to.
No.
But who does?
Me either. I don't.
But y'all do an excellent job.
Well, thank you.
I mean, we got a good-looking city. When it snows, the City of Paris, I always get on our social media and brag on y'all guys because, our state lacks. I turn God's country called Hyco.
Right.
That's where God lives. You're a man of the cloth. He lives out there.
Yep.
Yeah, see, Bill, I told you he lives out there. But when
I'm
you
just
come,
letting you have that.
I know you are. When he come in on it, when he comes in, you got me there.
Yeah, he did. Didn't
Yeah, maybe Jesus lives out there, and me and God down your area. But anyway, you what, Billy? You done?
I did laugh.
Okay, I got him one here.
Yeah.
I got me a live one tonight.
Yeah, I
but
like this.
I driven on the state highway that I can't even drive on. Hit city limits, it's just perfect.
Here's
Explain the difference to me on we're moving around a little bit, but tell me the difference between how the city takes care of our how many miles of road? Let me ask that. Do you have any idea how many miles of city or parish roads you have to maintain? And tell me where they are. And a lot of people confuse Wood Street and Mineral Wells and all that as city streets, and it's not. That's state and federal highways.
Exactly.
Because you can enlighten us to that.
I want to say, and I thought I had that number in here, but how many hundreds of miles of road that we have in the city of Paris? I want to say it's like 250, 300.
Right. But tell us what. A lot of people, they'll blame the city of Paris when Wood Street was tore to pieces.
Okay, we got to do everything. I want to handle the snow.
Okay.
First of all, for the snow, man, I tell you, Philip Jesse, you asked me before we made the show, like, why do we do a better job? First of all, the employees of the city of Paris.
They're number one.
Number one. I don't care who they are, new, old. And Philip Jesse with the Public Works Department is tremendous. His staff is tremendous. When he's got
Kevin,
right.
That man takes care of it.
Right. So one of the things, though, but it's kind of like comparing apples and oranges. Number of roads, miles of roads.
Sure it is.
Use of the roads. I mean, it's just typically in the city, of course, we only have a couple hundred miles of roads versus hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles of roads.
Parking lots.
We do.
You got a lot of business areas you have to keep clean. Now, give yourself credit. Y'all do more than just run around here scratching roads. You clean out parking lots that the city owns.
Yes.
Public or parking downtown. You clean all that.
Yes, they do all that, and they try to get ahead. I know a lot of people get upset every time they. Most everybody.
Right.
Smart ones don't, right? Yeah. No, but
did he just compliment us, Billy? Go ahead, Carl.
I'll take any candy. But no, Philip's big about pre-treating the roads, and everybody goes, "Why are you wasting that money?" Well, one time I said, "Hey, Kim, what's it really cost us to spray that roads?" Yeah, $200, $300 worth of labor, gas, and potato juice, and we call it tater juice. Yeah, now I don't know.
Tater.
I don't know if it's named after Tater Hayes or.
Well, I'll tell you what. When you get stuck and spin it smells like French fries.
Well, it's made out of. It's actually made out of potato juice.
Yeah, it is, and you get
and it's cheap.
You do a burnout in it, Billy.
Yeah,
you'll get hungry. You'll be running out there to McDonald's getting your order of fries.
And so we do little things like that, but all this is a science to it. It's what's really amazing about temperature and how much participation. It's going to rain before it snows or it ices, and that stuff only works down to a certain degree.
It might be a science, but Carlton, it's more of a gamble.
Hey, oh yeah, there is a gamble.
The weathermen, they are hardly ever right.
They are. You got to get that.
If I get outside in the morning, if it's not raining, I walk to the truck. If it is raining, I run to the truck.
Right.
That's basically how they do it.
Yeah, I got you. Well, and so I don't know that we can properly compare the city county to those because of the magnitude of the number of miles run. Right. Because it's really bad. I mean, I've seen our present county road guy Richie is the old one.
Does an excellent job.
Does an excellent job. What he's got to work with, the number of men.
Snowplows, he has none.
Right, and we've got dump trucks, and I mean, if you imagine he gets big snows, he gets graders and tractors, and I mean, he'd probably hire you to go
out there in Cottage Grove. We sort of do our own. I do my own.
So those are not, but let's go back to and let's jump over to the streets. Yeah, I've heard for years, and I get a lot of communication through our office staff, Kim, and then Jennifer Morris is involved in a lot of this, dealing with roads.
Jennifer, she's a good one too.
Yeah, she's awesome. She
does an excellent job.
We get these schedules, and I over the years get to be involved in some of these meetings that the state has about what they're going to build, what they're going to improve, and but any highway, any road in town that's part of a state highway, the state is responsible for it. And we
Tell us which roads they are.
Oh, you're talking about Wood Street. You're talking about Market Street. You're talking about Tyson. You're talking about Memorial. You're talking about Mineral Wells.
But that's what
and we're talking all the way out.
I understand. That's what people don't realize. Understand.
Right.
Y'all catch hell.
Oh yeah.
Because the city, like I hear it all the time at my shop. You remember I'm one of the old places that's left where people can come in and you'd be surprised.
I don't see how you get anything done.
Yeah, there's people in there all the time. They want to know about just talking. Old men sit around. There's always 4 or 5 loafers.
That's why he's got Jessica.
That's why I got my daughter. She runs the place.
Okay.
I just run my mouth. She runs the shop.
Right. Does that pay good?
No, running my mouth pays nothing.
Really?
No, it don't. She just feels sorry for her dad and gives me a paycheck.
Isn't that called welfare?
Well, I could call it that.
Okay.
It might be called Dad Fair.
Yeah, okay, Dad Fair.
Dad
There you
Fair,
go.
yeah.
There you go. I got you.
But and they'll say, well, why don't the city fix this highway? And I'll do my best to say Wood Street is a state highway. And I go and tell them 641 is a state highway. 54 is a state highway. Dunlap Street is the closest street to me, and Bly Street.
Yep.
That's city streets.
Yep.
And I'm not a politician, and I don't claim to be that, but I try to explain to them. But they don't quite grasp
No.
it how the city, state, and federal
Yes.
sort of bundle up here. And this is what I want you to do. That's why I
Yeah.
had you on here. And that's a big problem. You hear it.
Oh, yeah.
They
I hear it all the
they
time.
complained about, and I complained about Wood Street, but I complained to our state rep. Well, that's his territory,
Yeah.
and it's getting fixed.
Yeah,
But-
and just like, for instance, I'm just going to go just like right on Wood Street. For the last 3 years, we have gotten word that they were going to mill and pave Wood Street. We get excited. We start hearing, hey, we hear we're on the schedule. And then there gets to be a certain point in time where we didn't make it. And that's just what we're told from the state. And then we're now...
What reason do they give you?
Everything from money, time,
asphalt companies are down, shut down.
There's all kinds of things because I know you can only do asphalt and milling in a certain time of year because asphalt. But some of those you get tired of hearing it, and just like I don't like to hear excuses, and I know my constituents don't like to hear excuses, but it's just the way it is. I mean, it's you're dealing with government, and what I have learned, I never forget when I was going to ran for city commissioner. I decided I was going to go up there and I was fixing to get some things done.
It don't work that way.
You know how, and I found out you got to have a majority to get things done. Same thing with this. And what happens is it gets bigger in the state, gets larger in the federal. And it's
We've let the governments take control of too much.
Well,
not talking about local as much. I'm talking about federal.
So I understand.
I don't want to go there.
No, I'm with you. No, I'm with you.
They are too much into our life. But you know something, Carlton, the squeaky wheel is the one I grease.
Oh yeah.
So if you do go up there as a city commissioner and you just keep being that squeaky wheel, they'll shoot some grease at you to shut you down.
But then another, lately we've heard about how come somebody got on our favorite social media page and was complaining about why is there somebody from out of town on Wood Street putting in all they're redoing the curbs and all the cuts at the every intersection. You've seen where they've been working up and down Wood Street. That's handicap stuff. Well,
that's through a grant, I'm sure.
No.
City doing it?
No.
Who's paying for
it? State.
Gotcha.
And see why?
That's what I call a grant.
Right, grant. But that's part of that state project.
Right.
And all that had to get in. We're also kind of in a dilemma that causes some things where we've got to redo the traffic lights downtown Paris, because they are so old and obsolete, we can't even find parts for them anymore.
Well, now, Dickie Dunlap was the mayor. It was his. I had to pay a special tax to get them lights, them big old fancy poles put down there.
Yeah.
And they grawled out the map and put me and Ridgeway in that. And we paid. Hey, hold that thought. We got to take a break, folks. We got to pay the bills. Carlton Gerrell, the Paris City Mayor, is in the house, and he's lively. He's
educating.
He's really educating me. He has got me quiet. So, folks, we'll be right back. Got to pay the bills.
This presentation of the Mike Weatherford Show is being brought to you by
Paris Power Sports, a bad boy and skag mower dealer and service center that is the area's leading power sports company since 2016. Mow with an attitude and power on.
And the attorneys at Hawley & McAdams, who with over 90 years of combined experience pride themselves in competent, thorough representation, utilizing their vast experience in a broad array of practice areas. Voted favorite law firm in the 14th Annual Reader's Choice Award, Hawley & McAdams are proud and honored to serve you.
Welcome back to the Mike Weatherford Show. I'm Mike Weatherford. Billy Busey. We have got the Paris City Mayor, Carlton Gerrell, in the house, and we've been going over everything from taxes going up to me asking him, does he really think we have to raise our taxes? We've talked about roads. We've talked about it all. Welcome back, Mr. Carlton Gerrell.
Thank you, sir. Glad to be here. It's a lot of fun.
It is fun.
Man, I'm telling you, yeah.
And our job is to let you, as one of our leaders, set the record straight.
I love it.
Where else can you go and do what we're doing?
Nowhere.
There's nowhere. And I think it's a needed thing.
I do too. No, I'm enjoying it. I've been watching the shows. I think it's wonderful. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to see the next one.
Oh, it's going to be good. We've got a lot of guests lined up. But let's get back to you and I.
Yes, sir.
We've talked about a little bit of everything, first off, I haven't really been hard on you, but I questioned you a little bit, and probably agree with most of what you said, and I want you to know that I do believe y'all doing one heck of a job for the city of Paris, because I've got a business. I live in the county, but I have a business, and y'all been nothing but good to me. Every problem that I've ever had, I've went to y'all, and we've always worked through it. When I needed something done, I had to jump through hoops, sure, but that's just how it is.
Proper channel.
That's exactly right. I never sit back and complain. I go up there and I talk with you, or I talk to our city manager, or I talk to Jennifer Morris, tell her what I want to do. And I've even called you, and you got back with me and said, Mr. Weatherford, it's what we need to do. You even called me Mr. Weatherford, Carlton. You made me feel good that day. Most people don't call me. They call me, hey, Mike.
Yeah, I have to remember not to do that.
Don't do that, because that makes you, I think you like me if you call me Mr. Weatherford.
Billy, what do I call him, Billy?
I call him Mr. Mike.
Yeah.
Mr. Mike, all right.
Magic Mike.
Magic Mike.
Yeah. And, but y'all do a good job. No matter what you think about what I've asked you tonight, and how bad you think I've been on you, I want you to tell y'all do a good job. And and if I did live in the city of Paris, I'd probably be one of your constituents up there. I'd be one of the guys that's sitting there beside of you, and me and you would probably. You said you try to go up there and fix every problem. Well, you'd probably have you a partner, because I agree with mostly everything you said.
Yeah.
But. What is some of the most accomplishments that you've done as a city mayor that you're proudest of? If Carlton Gerrell somehow or another was the last day you was going to be mayor was today, what would you look back and say is some of the crowning moments of the government that you've been mayor of?
So far, other than there's several things, but if I had to pick,
all of them.
Well, the biggest one I think is the improvements we've done at Eiffel Tower Park. That is how that all happened. Was I went through a program called West Star. It's leaders from all over West Tennessee, and had saw some things, seen some things some other communities had done, and came back and said something to Kim about, hey, have you seen what they're doing over here? And she goes, yeah, I was hoping you would notice that. And I said, we need a plan. And see, that's what people don't realize. Everything's a process, particularly when you're dealing with government. And we try to, the goal is to let the state and federal government, because they're going to give the money to somebody. It might as well go to Paris. A lot of people, like when the little fountain down at the city park down there, the beautiful fountain that we did the restrooms. Billy put a dishwashing fluid in one time.
Went out and bought Dawn dishwashing liquid, because I come by there coming to work that morning.
Saw it.
Yeah, and I seen him running down right in front of the gas company all the way down through the insurance. It was about waist high, and Billy was over there snickering.
Well, it wouldn't have been so bad if he hadn't had the shower hat cap on.
Yeah,
he was washing
his clothes.
Yeah.
I thought that's what you washing.
Kim gonna get me.
Yeah,
no,
right.
we got you back.
But anyway, you're good.
That's how y'all Filipinos do it. So y'all use that thing for a bathtub. You use it to wash your clothes.
Well, we use them for a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I know you did.
We throw coins in it most of the time.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, who gets them out?
I don't know.
Oh, I mean, go up there and check them. I get enough to pay my taxes.
Squirrel. we done got off chasing squirrels and rabbits again.
Rabbit hole.
All right, but anyway, the park, and so what first thing we did, we're like, okay, and we contacted a planner, and that we've got a great relationship with TLM out of Jackson, and TLM, and we said, hey, we want to look at putting together a master plan, because what happens is whenever it's time for a grant to come along, like the one that's paying for a good portion of the splash pad, you've got to be ready. We're
going to come down that rabbit hole in a minute. Go ahead.
But so we developed this plan that had a lot of pieces to it, and there's no way you're talking about over millions and millions and millions of dollars, but you got to have a plan. And so
y'all commissioners plan it without harming somebody?
Well, we didn't even hire. Well, this one we kind of asked a favor because we had other projects going. No, not. And I mean, if it was just to do drawings and conceptual plots, just nothing major.
You could have him plan.
Yeah.
Does
we could draw.
Does it? Okay. Well, anyway, so they put it together, and we kind of brought it to the commission and say, hey, what do y'all think? And everybody's like, that's a great idea, because you got to have a goal, and then you got to figure out how you pay for it and how we going to do it the most responsible way that we can to not become a burden on taxpayers. Because the last thing we want to become, I know, and somebody said, well, you didn't want to be a burden, but you just raised our tax 3 cents per $100 or $1,000, whatever it is, on a house.
Which brought y'all in, you said about $200,000 possibly?
No, 3 cents.
Yeah.
$60,000.
Okay.
Or no, yeah, 20 cents, $20,000 per penny.
Right.
So $60,000 is all
that brought in?
Yes.
So y'all, okay.
Yeah, on a $13 million budget.
That's nothing.
And see, going back to those taxes, one of the things that you have to do.
Under Biden's gas prices.
How do you keep that in the green then if that's all you're bringing in? That's kind of...
Because you still manage wisely on the other side. I didn't get to this a while ago on the first half of the show.
Go back to what you was so proud of.
Yeah, I got you. Proud of that park. Yeah.
I got him.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Well, I'm proud of the park, the improvements, and then still got some more plans of things to do there. Downtown improvements.
We've got a good downtown.
We do, and that's a combination effort, partnership.
To have a downtown that's as wide open, many businesses, and as pretty as we do. We're lucky. Do you realize how lucky we are?
We've got one of the prettiest court squares. I do a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
And
most of them
and
everywhere.
it's historical, but it still looks good.
And a lot of places just full of law offices. We've got business downtown.
Yeah.
You won't find much of that. I think we're one of the few around here that has that.
Yeah, we really work, and we've got, but it's all a partnership.
That's right.
The city, the Downtown Parish Association, now the chamber's more involved.
As long as we don't allow them to move our county courthouse to annex buildings somewhere, as long as we keep the courts there, that's not part of you.
Courthouse.
That's nothing to do with you. But as long as we keep the government in that courthouse, we'll keep it downtown. Because there's reason to go to downtown.
Right.
If we ever move that, downtown will die. And people knows that.
Yeah, that, and then we've done some things like remodel City Hall. That's something I look back in. City Hall hadn't had a major renovation in 30 years, and we've done that. If you hadn't been in there in the last couple of years, we did it.
Last time I was in there, I was bailing Billy out of jail when y'all used to have a city jail. You remember that?
Yeah, well, you need to go. It don't look the same.
No,
you wouldn't even know where the jail was. County.
No, it was a city jail usually. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But anyway, there's just a lot of little projects like that we look back and you see in the years of being mayor that we've done a lot of good improvement. I'd like to just be involved, and the part I love about being the mayor is you're involved in the tourism authority with the county.
I worked through them.
Yeah, so that's the mayor. What you asked, what the mayor does?
Yeah.
The mayor
Pay good.
The mayor, $300 a month.
$300 a
Gracious
month.
lives.
That costs you that much just to get back and forth.
Right.
So you have really got to want to do politics.
Everybody thinks you're getting rich, you're getting all these perks and all these advantages and this money.
You done told me that you pay your own light bill. Mm-hmm. You don't get nothing free. You don't get all this. Even Bruce Griffey told us that what he made is nothing. It cost him because he's got to stay away from his private.
It costs me money to be the mayor.
There you go. So it's got to be.
To Washington D.C. That's where it pays.
Yeah. I guess it does.
Well, look what them politicians up there doing. The lifestyle that they got. That's ridiculous.
They come in broke like me and you and leave there like Carlton Gerrell, a lot of money.
I don't know. I thought I was just trying to get up to Mike Weatherford money.
Well, you passed me, honey.
Really?
Yes, sir.
You sure?
I'm so poor I can't pay attention.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. You see what I drive? An old beat up red truck. Got a dent in the fender. Can't do no better. I'm just poor.
Your weekend truck.
No, that's the best I can do, and I live in just a little old tent. Billy, you
had to hire me, so I mean.
Yeah, I had to hire Billy to ride me around. Talking about that splash pad out there. Mm-hmm. What did that cost the city of Paris to build that, Mr.
The total budget on it was approximately $1.2 million.
Now,
That it?
Mm-hmm. Where did it come from?
The half of it roughly came through the state of Tennessee.
So we paid $500,000.
We are paying through debt service.
Right, I understand.
That we carry a certain amount of debt service at all times, and it's one of those things.
What is our debt?
Sorry, I can't answer that right now. I would say I hate to even guess. I mean, it's part of the
Millions?
oh yeah.
He'll get back to you.
Lots
I'll
of
get back
millions?
to you. Yeah, we're talking probably I want to say $3 or $4 million.
Well, that ain't what I figured.
No,
That's still a lot.
no. We're fiscally responsible. We have a tremendous credit rating. We're audited every year, and they find no findings. They're always telling us that we're
So
Any Democrats up there then, is there?
no, but it is nonpartisan.
let me ask you this: when we built that
Yeah.
splash pad, it was basically built because we got it at half price.
Yeah,
Basically, what
we
it
wouldn't
cost.
have done it with no.
What about the maintenance on it?
The maintenance.
Are we going to look down the road? Let me ask you this question, Carlton. I've heard this before. And, you got to remember where I'm at. Uptown here, all these people. We're building something that once the warranty wears out, we're going to have a high maintenance. What's them pumps going to cost to replace it? What's the maintenance going to be on that? It's sort of like when a man wins $1 million in a lottery and he buys a $900,000 house. Well, he can't pay the electric bill. He can't pay the property tax and all.
The city keeps raising the tax.
That's right. He keeps going back. So are we going to be looking down the road in 5 years? I don't know. And people's going to get used to it. So you've got to keep this park alive.
No, we do.
Are we going to have a big high dollar? Are we going to hear down the road? Carlton, my question, I guess what I'm trying to ask you, am I going to hear down the road, oh man, we got to have this money because it's going to cost us $300,000 to fix our splash pad? And I'm all for it, but if we think about that, I'm just a businessman.
We thought about that.
I'm the businessman.
No, I won't tell you, we thought about that because that's where the city of Paris has a great team. Tony Lawrence is over our city parks.
Right.
Tony Lawrence does a tremendous job. Highly involved in those decision-making processes because the question was asked of him, and do you think your department can handle this without any additional people? One of the biggest things that he struggles with.
I'm talking about not only, I'm sure he's very capable.
Yes.
Him and his crew. But I'm talking about
the parts. I know the parts and pumps, but one of the things that we did as a research, the pumps. I don't know how much they cost, but he assured me through research and us before we entered into this that it wouldn't be a problem.
Good. But you see
absolutely. No, because I'll give you an example, and most people don't even realize this actually happened. Do you remember a few years ago when we changed out all the street lights in the city, and they went from regular to LED?
That's right. How much that saved?
Well, here's what it saved us. It saved us right at $500,000. Right at $500,000, because at that point in time we had a dehumidifier in where the city pool, the indoor pool at the Civic Center, there's a dehumidifier that goes in there that if you don't have it, it makes that whole thing just unbearable. And actually, eventually it'll ruin the building because it sweats in the concrete block. Well, that dehumidifier went out, and we were looking at a repair bill of $500,000. Right. So we, through another connection, somebody came to us and they said, hey, we want to look at these LED lights. It can save you this much money. In fact, it won't cost you a dime to put them in. You're going to, whatever you need to fix or do or repay or whatever, we can use the savings on your electric bill to pay for whatever, and we paid for that $500,000 dehumidifier, fixed it with no cost.
Off the savings.
Yeah.
That's a good example. I won't splash park. I got 10 grandkids. Yeah. And I hope that's the end of it. Yeah. I hope my kids are listening. No more. Yeah. But I want my kids to go out
there. Around here.
No, there ain't nothing. You hear that, don't you?
Yeah.
But my children go out there. My grandchildren go out there.
Yeah.
But I don't want to hear a $500,000 repair bill.
Yeah, I've been sure that that's not going to be the case. So,
I am not against a splash pad.
But
I just want to make sure we do it with a.
But you're talking about you have to look at things like, see what happens. This is something when I was listening to the show when you were doing it with Tater about roads.
Yeah.
And y'all made 641. Y'all made a comment over and over. Well, how come they get to do it? How come they do it so much faster than we do?
In Kentucky?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're not in Kentucky every day.
I understand.
Watch pot never boils.
That's right.
And see, that's what happens. See, we don't see because all of a sudden realize, I remember when KPAC and the Civic Center was built, I was living right where I still live today. I've lived there for 23, 24 years. Well, I remember when they built it, and all of a sudden one day, 20 years later, the dehumidifier goes out. Well, things just wear out. Things tear up. It's like an air conditioner at home. A $5,000, $10,000 HVAC unit at your house on a $150,000 house, it's a big lick to an individual. The only difference between, that old men and boys price of their toys, well, the cities have bigger, these things go out. So I can't tell you what it's going to cost, but then how do we all pay for, like, if something major goes, like you got to replace your roof at your house, so you either had to save money or you go borrow money against your house, right?
That's right.
Same thing. It's just bigger. The problem is that we see it because we as a government, whether it be city, county, state, or federal, we're using everybody else's money. Sorry about that.
That's what I want to make sure of, and that's what I complain all the way up. Because I'm not going to throw a name, but I've got family that's been senators and stuff like that, and good friends of mine, and you'll know them if I mention their name. They're real close kin to me. And I tell them, I say, I don't mind paying my fair share. If that's the word, I hate to use that word because I think everybody pays a fair share. But I want to make sure I'm getting a bang for my buck.
Right.
It's very easily, if you've never run a business, I don't care if it's, I'm going to say this again, making potato chips or computer chips, you're still making chips.
Yep.
If you've never really run a business and you get up there and say something like you're doing and you start trying to educate me on, which I'm not even talking about you, but I have to do that to me, trying to educate me. And I said, what have you ever done? You've only been in charge of somebody else's money. When has your money been on the line? How would you do it?
When you got to pay.
That's right.
Payroll.
That's right. When you got to make payroll, when you've got to worry about business being slow, and raising prices in my industry is something that you really, the last thing we do, which would be raising taxes in your industry, raising in my industry, is something that any business owner looks at carefully. Because what we have to do, are we spending money unwisely?
Right.
I look at nuts and bolts that we use. I'm looking at where can we cut some lights off. I give it a couple, 3 months to see, and my guys all know when I'm looking, because they all look at me and say, oh my God, here he's cutting pennies again. Well, sure I am, because I'm giving $1,000 a week away that I shouldn't be giving. I got 6 employees. And so I'm looking at every way I can to save money. And I want to know, and I believe you've told me, that my city of Paris that I love, I would never live in a world, is doing all they can to keep our costs down. And Billy, don't you agree? I mean, that's all we have.
Yeah.
If I feel like, and I'm feeling like it, I'm feeling more comfortable after talking with you, like, which I've known you. There's no secret. You and I are friends, but we don't run around together. We know each other real well.
Right.
One of the things that bothers me about the government is you've got people that actually have done business and they know to handle business, and then you got other people that have got the theory, and that's what kills me.
Well, Donald Trump, like her or not like her, I mean, that's not what my show's about, but I'm going to say it. We didn't have $10 too before. We didn't have $4 gasoline when a businessman was running it. Everything was a lot smoother at that time. Now, it's not all the president's fault now. I know that. But I'm just saying, a businessman, when you put them in charge, that's what built this county. That's what built this city. That's what built this country.
Amen.
Was a farmer with the overalls on. And there's a joke about that. The farmer in the overalls built this country. The men in the suits run it.
I've heard it.
But you're doing an excellent job.
Well, thank you.
And I can live anywhere I wanted to.
Yeah.
But I choose Paris. You know why? Because we've got good people. We've got a good government. We've got a good police force. I've even had a sheriff on already. Sheriff Josh Fry.
Yeah, can't wait to hear him.
Yeah, we got a good sheriff's department. And people want to complain. Do you really not, these people out here, do y'all not really know what we have here? We got a city mayor and all these people that's come in here. They come in a low show like this and lay it out there, not knowing. I mean, I didn't tell you what I was going to talk to you about. We just talked, and you said, "Yeah, I'll come on." You can't do that in a lot of towns. You can't go to Nashville and get the mayor. You can't get the sheriff in Nashville to do a little show like we're doing. So people, be glad you live in Paris.
They're coming though, Mike.
Yeah, they're coming. I know they are. But what I want you to do is I want the people to thank people like you that for $300 a month, you have to put up with this bullshit.
And I'm going to tell you, last year, 2020,
it was tough.
Make you think you don't want to do this. I mean, I hate to say you couldn't, but the decisions on COVID, you couldn't top to bottom, and you couldn't make a right decision.
What was the decision? How could you?
I know. You just got to live with it just like I did. And I took a lot of heat on my stance on all that, and I lived by faith. But, I mean, I had COVID. I spent 3 days in the hospital with it. I know
you did.
So,
but you come through it.
Yeah. And so,
thank the Lord,
but there's no right decision because there's so much unknown, and everybody has a theory. And that's what I guess one of the greatest things I'm disturbed about, not only in our community, but also our country right now, is we seem like we're just so divided. And everybody say, well, but the only way people want to rectify their division is to get over on the other side.
And you're speaking about national,
everything.
Federal.
Now, I'm talking about national. I'm talking about in Paris, Tennessee.
Yeah, everybody. It's my turn to get you back.
Or that, or it's just, you're right and I'm wrong. Well, no, what if maybe we're both right and both wrong?
I bet that's true.
At times it is.
It is. We got to find common ground.
Yeah.
And that's what I said earlier when I had to deal with the city of Paris through my business. And, I've got rental buildings. I've got, I'm not going to toot my horn, but I've got other businesses other than Mike's Muffler.
Right.
And I have to do the right things.
Yeah.
I didn't expect anything special. I've never had anything special, but I go up there and I do what you asked for me. And after it's all over, you look back and it was nothing.
Yeah.
But you still got people complaining that says the city of Paris don't want us to grow.
No,
trust me, folks.
Trust
me, folks. We want this town to grow.
Right,
I know you do.
Why? Because
you hear that too.
Oh, all the time. And
put that rubber to rest.
Well,
make these people believe that the city of Paris wants this town to grow.
I get so tired of that one comment that there's those people up there are not wanting the city to grow. And first I go, well, who are those people? Well, the people at City Hall, and even these will be sometimes my friends, and I go, I am one of those people.
That's right. I'm talking about you.
Yeah, and so, but here's where the fact we want all the sales tax we can get, because the more sales tax that is generated, we don't have to worry about property tax. And we are a sales tax driven community, just like we're a sales tax driven state. The majority of our money comes from sales tax and items being sold. And
y'all
that
get 2.75% of the taxes, people. When you spend $1 in Henry County and you pay 9.75, Paris gets 2.75, but it's split up. Explain that.
Well, it's split up. And whether it's in the city or the county, that's why the county relies more on property tax.
Right.
The city relies on sales tax.
Most of the tax is generated in the city.
Right, because our business, half of it automatically goes to education.
That's right.
So out of that too, so we're live on 1.5% basically, or roughly whatever we do the math, on sales tax that's generated. So the more businesses that we can get to come in here, the more sales. And right now, this is what's been the amazing thing about
sales
COVID.
Through the roof.
Sales through the roof. Now,
it's that free money. People's got money.
Probably that's like a whole nother theory,
and they don't have no job.
Because I'll tell you,
to spend it.
And people were like, especially what was kind of tough was, and this is where we have to predict and try to make an educated guess. Where we had some record like 25 and 31% sales increases year to date. Well, we got last month's just not long ago, and we were back down to the roughly 5%. It's going to level back out. And that's why
31% is unheard of.
Yeah, 31%.
Can you imagine if I'm a businessman.
Right.
I'm a businessman. If my shop grow 35% sales in 1 month, I'd be finding which one of my employees did it.
Right.
That's astronomical. There's any corporation would love that.
Yeah, and see, my whole thing is that the other thing you don't remember, it wasn't you.
It was me.
No, it wasn't you. You was in Florida.
I'm a good talker.
So you think you did it with them Facebook Lives?
Could be. You'd be surprised what how much money I generate off of them lives.
I want you to keep on, and I want you to do it for the city of Paris. I want you to do all the generating you can, but basically do it for me, because I want to get my own island, and I want to fly off into the sunset, and I'll carry you and Carlton
with me. I'm working on that plane, believe it or not.
Yeah, the plane boss.
That's it right there.
Which one are you gonna be?
Tattoo.
You remember that show?
I gotta be tattooed.
There you go. And I'll fly in the plane. You can say, "There come the plane, boss. The plane." How you gonna say it?
The plane.
The plane.
The plane.
The plane, boss. Sorry, Carlton.
No problem. I know.
There's too many rabbit holes around here.
That rabbit jumped up.
Oh
the
man, I gotta chase him when I do. Yeah. When my ears go off, if it ain't the producer hollering at me about something.
Yeah.
It's Billy, and I've got to turn around because he's up to something.
I got you.
Yeah. Go ahead now, Carlton.
Yeah. I don't remember where we were.
Well, we were just
tattoos. The last thing I heard.
Well, you got tattoos?
No, I don't do tattoos.
Generating sales tax.
Oh, but so we're for that. That's
Thank you, Billy.
It's all. Thanks, Billy. That's what your notepad's for. I was wondering what you're doing. Is that?
I'm trying to keep things going.
I thought you were doodling down there. I didn't know what you were up to. But
that's what we paying big bucks for, to keep me and you straight.
I got you. Well, he's doing a good job.
You did get that memo about paying him, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
He won't just do it for pizza.
Pizza, yeah, there's more pizza. But anyway, that's where it's always just fascinated me where that logic comes from. Because why would we not want more? And then the other one, that I just, if you want to talk about things.
wanna hear 'em all.
Oh, well,
I'm loving this, man.
here's the other classic.
Hey, listen, I'm
Okay.
going to sit here. If I could, I'd smoke a cigarette. I want to hear all of this.
Well, here's the classic is, why don't y'all get a blank? Like, why don't,
Get an Applebee's.
yeah, why don't you get an Applebee's? Why don't you get a Sam's Club? Why don't we get Aldi's? Why don't we get, do you not think that all of us would like to shop there too?
It don't work.
It don't work that way, and you try to tell them over and over. It's like a couple of weeks ago, one of the businessmen in town bought a piece of property, and he started asking everybody what they wanted on it. And I mean, all Cracker Barrels and all this stuff. And I said, the piece of property's not wide enough to put it.
Well, first off, the city. I'm going. That's the business. I'm going to put my business hat on. Okay, I'm a businessman. I'm not. There's no way that you can say Cracker Barrel comes to Paris. They got to do a geographics. They got to look at traffic count. They got to look at the people, the ages of the people, before they spend the money in Paris. And I understand what people are saying.
Yeah.
I would like to have all that.
Oh, yeah.
I like to have a good seafood because I love seafood. I ought to be living on the ocean.
Yeah.
If Dana over there gets rich, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make her move us to the ocean. But we both love seafood. We can live on it.
I'm with you.
But people just, they don't know no better, or they mean well. I don't know which.
Yeah, and that's where you try not to get frustrated, but it is always, and then if you ever say it, like I got into a discussion one night, and like you said, you probably saw it too, that
I get my popcorn and butter.
yeah,
out.
you get your popcorn and butter out, and that's why my wife tells me I need to stay off there.
No, keep on. I love it.
Yeah, but it's like, we can have anything, and in fact, if you want it, because we're always hearing about Chick-fil-A. Man, I love Chick-fil-A. I like a Jesus chicken sandwich. Yeah, right. But my thing is that, it's practically, there's one in McKenzie, there's one in Martin, they're on college campuses.
They're not franchised.
Right, but they actually
They got a few,
if you want one, you can put one in, but that means you've got to have
$1.6
million. Plus, guess what? You got to work in it.
That's right.
Not Billy work for you. You got to work in it.
Yeah, you got to work.
Billy, won't you put us one?
It's part of their model.
That you have to. It's their model that the owner is the guy back there running the store.
They want to hide in that all the time. That's a lot of work.
Right, and especially a lot of times that people have looked into this town that they have the financial means, don't have the.
What do y'all do as a city of Paris to attract businesses and the Chick-fil-A's and the Apple? What do y'all do?
We do like over the last couple of years, we've been paying a retail recruiter to visit like there's trade shows where all these companies are there.
Hold that just a minute. Why are we paying somebody?
We either gonna pay somebody who's an expert at it, or you're gonna pay one of us.
Working. Why don't you go?
Because I don't know how to answer the questions that they know.
Well, I mean,
and I'm not talking about an exorbitant amount of money. We're talking, maybe $10,000 a year or something like that.
Well, is it worth it? What has it got?
Exposure. And
I get exposure.
Well, here's one of the biggest problems right now. Okay, for far as retail, we don't have any. The only buildings we have are the old People's Building, which guess what's coming?
Yeah, I know.
Harbor Freight.
I love it.
Yeah, and of course, then that way, well, who wants a Harbor Freight? Well, I know a lot of people are excited about it.
The producer's raising his hand.
Yeah, we got him running down here.
Can I get a hell yeah?
The only other empty good retail empty space right now is the old Save-A-Lot.
Right.
And of course, there's a rumor been floating around. There's Aldi's coming. Aldi's is not coming.
Oh.
I'm not saying they're not. But they've no indication. Plus, we're too small. A lot of that store's not big enough. But there's other than that, we don't have a lot of retail. Well, to build and develop a retail, like a strip mall that we could put more people in, like the guy did over on Volunteer, Wyatt Owens put that in, you've got to be willing to lay out millions of dollars on a low margin return.
Yes, sir.
And I'm talking about your netting, you could probably net on something like that about a 10% return on your money. Well,
10%?
Why? Maybe.
Nah.
Probably more like 6 or 7.
That's
okay.
Average.
But I'm just saying, I'm trying to be optimistic.
You are.
But here's the problem is, okay, if you can only net 6% on your money by putting it in a retail that you're going to recover 6% on that money, why would you do that when you can put it in the stock market right now and make 20?
That's right. Plus, you ain't got to work for it.
Not near as hard.
No.
You know, you might be a little more gambling. And then, you know, that, and then the gas pricing, you know, people, you know, Mike, you're a businessman. Would you, if you could get $100 for an oil change, would you do it? If you could.
That's a trick question. And you're not going to believe this, but no, I wouldn't really.
Well, I mean,
feel like I'm ripping somebody off.
Well, okay. What do you charge for an oil?
A regular oil change up to 5 quarts is $27.50.
Okay.
That's not synthetic oil. It goes up.
Okay, $27.50.
Right.
So, you know, how long?
If I could do it for 40.
Okay,
yes.
That's my question. Okay,
I'm gonna get
percentage. That's what I'm saying is, if you could get 40 for it, and everybody was paying 40, would you do it?
Yes.
Why?
Because I can get it.
There's the point.
That's right.
It's called supply and demand.
That's
Market.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
So supply and demand.
You know, and those people don't understand that gas pricing is typically like some people it'll be cheaper. Well, they're doing it as a loss leader to get people into the store. I use the same
analogy on what you just said. I asked you, do you know why there's not stores around here that set up just selling carburetors? Because there ain't no demand for carburetors.
Yeah.
Everything's fuel injection.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about supply and demand.
It is, and
it's who gets there firstest with the mostest, which was not said, but I've read history. I'm a big history man, but
I know who said that.
Yeah, who?
Nathan Bedford Forrest.
He didn't say that.
He said that's what he said about.
No, he said I got there first, man, with the most. He didn't say firstest with the mostest. That's what everybody said. Go back and read it back. I'm a history man.
Make a note on that.
Make a note, Bill. Let me see. Write that down.
Yeah, write that down.
There you go.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, they targeted more of this being a retirement community. Is that false?
Yeah. No, that's true. Back this was my early days, and I've been involved with the Chamber of Commerce for years. I was president several years ago. That was kind of a start into politics too, and different things like that. But that was kind of almost like a gift horse. Because what happened is, and I had this proved, it was like, I want to say it's 95 or 96, we got just out of the blue rated as one of the top retirement areas in the country based on 4 seasons, because we have 4 complete seasons. You know, we have hotter than hell like it is right now, and we have warmer and then warmer and freezing cold. You know what I'm saying? So we got all that. But low taxes, because we're tax friendly as a state. So a lot of people move from states that have a massive income tax down to here. So since we're sales tax base, there's a lot of reasons, and it just naturally flowed. My uncle, who was in Illinois at the time, was getting ready to retire. And, he called and he said, your community? And I said, yeah, I'm aware of that. And they looked at either buying here or in Maryville, Tennessee, because they were on the top of the list. So it's one of those things that we grabbed as a community, because why would we not? Retirees typically come in because we're a sales tax driven company or county and state, that they're going to come in and spend money that it stimulates the economy.
Let me help you out a little bit. We are not a manufacturing country no more. We moved away from manufacturing. We are a service country. And I hear it all the time, Bill, and you do too. Yeah. Why don't they get people to come put these factories in? Well, it's really hard when you've got maybe 3 factories other than Amazon. They're not a manufacturer. They're a service. That's right. Mm-hmm. There's nobody, when you got 3 manufacturers and you got the whole country fighting for them, what can we got to offer?
I'm wrong to think this, one of the reasons I think is because of the taxes, the way that they tax the business owner. And it forced them to go to somebody with a cheaper manufacturer.
They get so much incentives. As a business owner, if I had 500 employees that I was going to bring to Paris, they'd give me some breaks. They would give me this and give me that. But they can only give so much. When you got bigger towns,
I'm not talking about as far as the city. Mine was more of a national.
Yeah, there's nothing to do with you. Y'all used to be part of the BPU. Are you now? Which way is the BPU?
No, we BPU separated from us, right. And the reason we did that was because that way, when we were being audited, their debt was our debt, and especially with all and it's nothing wrong because they've got a plan to cover the new water plant and the new sewer plant and all the improvements.
It's called electricity rates.
No, it's all water, wastewater, and water.
Okay.
Electricity is handled totally different.
You're not aware of. If you are, tell me you are. If you ain't, give me credit.
Okay.
Did you know that Mike Weatherford pays so much for kilowatt at my house, but Mike's Mufflers pays a higher rate because I'm a business?
Probably.
Why?
Don't know.
That's what I asked. You know what they tell me? Because you're a business. That's what. That's the same electricity going to that house that comes to my shop. Why not pay more per kilowatt hour?
Yeah, I have to take that up.
I have. That's just something I know if you're aware of.
Not aware of it.
And that's another thing.
That way, and also they separated so I didn't have to answer BPU questions.
I like
anymore.
that. But that's just another way that business owners are getting shafted sometimes. But like I said, there is no jobs no manufacturing job. We're a service. I'd like to see an Amazon here, but I've kept you a long time, and I want to move on here. What's this about the funding? Now, we have not hit on this road out here, and I've had two guests about the 641. We about beat that dead horse to death.
Yeah.
But there is some news that come out about the county, and I don't know if the city's involved in this, but your name come up when I was talking to Mr. Taylor Hayes, and I was talking to our state representative, City Mayor Carlton Gerrell's name come up. What has just happened about this $500,000 fund? Tell me what you know. That there's $500,000 the county just put to help get this road done.
Okay, I didn't follow up on what the county had done on their end. What's going on from my perspective on the road is obviously. A
lot of it's in the city limits.
It is. What's going on now?
Yeah.
Anyway, I better not even get into that one. But the whole point is that I think it should. Yeah, really. Well, we should have started that. My personal opinion is we should have started that road north and came south. And I also think and I was going to tell you this because I want to make my views known. I think we should have not worried about as much the section between Court Square and the bypass, and we should have made it so trucks are more have to go around the bypass rather than going through downtown Paris. But yeah, we've created a 5-lane road that's dumping right into our Court Square, and I don't think that was the best choice. But it's done.
Tennessee.
It's state of Tennessee, but I don't know about our involvement.
$500,000 about.
See, I don't know what I saw where they had done that, but I didn't ever look at the amount.
Not got nothing in there.
Not yet. But here's the story is when we went up, and Bruce told y'all this on his show, that we went up and talked to the state transportation people. I want to stop there. A lot of what Bruce has to deal with is there's like two sides of the state. You got the legislators that represent us, the people, and then you got all the state employees.
I understand.
Those state employees, all they do is live through every election cycle and go on about their business. Some of those people have been there for 30 years, and they do, their people make their choices and decisions. There's only so much that they can do. And there's also things that they just going to do because that's just the way they've done it. So there's always that tension between those those two parts of the same thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because and sometimes it's a healthy tension, sometimes it's not. But anyway, somehow it's like that getting changed from a 4-lane to a 2-lane, and then Tim went back and got it all the way 4-lane all the way out to the bypass. Well, what we're in the process of trying to do is eventually we're trying to get, and the state told us, and I was sitting in the meeting, that we need to petition for a build grant, which comes from the federal government. Where
basically what Mitch McConnell did out of Kentucky.
Right, and that we're trying to get that, and the state told us that they would be like, it wasn't last cycle, but maybe this one coming up, because every state's roughly going to get 1 or 2 a year. And right now they've been wanting everything to finish I-69 over there through Union City.
To Nashville going east,
yeah,
a lot of road work.
Right. So anyway, hopefully we're up for that. But we have to petition for that as a community. So the county and the city are going to be going in, working through our industrial board, which is one of the things the mayor does. I'm over the Paris Henry County Industrial Committee. That's one of the reasons I like being the mayor, is to be involved in those processes, is that we're working to do a bill grant, and we hired the same company to write the grant, but these guys these are paying the professionals. They know where to cross the I's and dot the T's, as I like to say, and I know it's the opposite of that, but they know how to do it and go about it. So you're paying experts.
To make it stand out.
Well, that makes sense. Say, do you want to carry, it's kind of like you got specialties in your business. What's your specialty?
Taking breaks.
Taking breaks.
I take breaks. I'm specialized.
I heard you the best break taker. If I want to get a break taken,
you would call me.
That's my point.
I can tell you how to take a break.
Doing. So we're in the process of going. The city and county are going to have to both put money up to that for right of ways, and we're going to have to be involved because they're not going to do anything without the local communities investing in that.
That's just like that downtown. I didn't get to the meeting y'all had.
Yeah.
And I'm keeping you late. I'm trying to shut it down.
I'm fine. I'm good.
But we had a little deal where downtown businesses and homes could get some money to redo some stuff.
Right.
And I didn't get I was on my vacation. I get one a year.
Right.
And it would take Jesus himself to prevent me from going on my vacation.
Right.
What's that all about?
All that home grant, there was facade grants where
it's also for businesses.
It's for business.
So I got a letter.
There's both home, but that facade grant's the one you're talking about. And those come open up and we put them out there, and that's where you could use that to improve the outside of your building, and that money comes from the state, and there's a whole process that, they put it out there, and our goal is we apply for everyone we think we can feasibly handle. Well, see, this goes back to why did we have to raise the taxes? Because we've got to keep so much money in the bank, just like you do. Well, you called it padding, margin, whatever. We keep a rainy day fund, and so, but we wouldn't been able to do. At one point when I came on the city commission, our fund balance was less than $1 million. And today it's over $4.5 million.
Well, so that's something you should have told me when I asked you what your proudest moments was.
Yeah, well,
that's something you did.
I got some, but I'm one of these guys.
We're kind of compressed your mind into an hour show.
Right. Plus, the other part is, that's fine. But my whole thing is about proudest moments. I'm one of these guys, let's get something done. Let's move on to the next thing.
There you go.
I don't, I'm a list checker. Let's get it off. Let's get it and move on through that. Well, so anyway, we've raised that fund balance. Well, that's why some people say, why you need taxes if you got $4 million in balance. Well, first of all,
that's for bad economies.
About 25% of that is for we claim it's not touchable. Mm-hmm. Then so we got about and that's $3 million, and then we got about $1 million something. Well, we're gonna dip into our savings this year just to balance the budget of $330,000.
We got how much in our rainy day fund? I hate to butt in.
I don't know if it's 4.1 or 4.6.
Okay, and what's our budget for City of Paris?
13.
That's not enough, really.
Well, but
$4 million is not a lot of money. It is to me.
I understand
that. In the scope of things, how long would that last the city of Paris? How long would it be for the policeman quit getting paychecks? Right. How long the fireman gets it? And our roads come all to pieces. So it's not a lot there.
Right.
Like in my business, I have a padding to share what you're saying, because there's snow days.
Right. There's
days that things just slow.
Right.
I got to make payroll. My guys, I can't look at them and say I can't pay this week.
No, and that's in the same way here. So that's why we have to keep that money, and then you got to have money because when grants come along.
That, Mike.
Yeah, really. Because Billy's looking for his check. He didn't get his pizza this week.
Yeah, he did.
So you caught on, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm on it, man. I'm on it.
That man is all over us, Billy.
Yeah.
He is.
He is educated.
He's good. We'll have to bring him back.
He's going to have to come back. You know what? He has got over on me a couple times, but that's fine.
But so we have to do that.
I found somebody talks as much as I do.
Yeah, really. I'm sorry, but
no, don't apologize. I love it.
So we have to keep that money, because like when it came time to do the splash pad, if we didn't have money to match our part of the grant, we couldn't have done it.
That's right.
What happens if you decide your buddies, hey, Dana wants to go on a trip. She says she's going to Florida, and you can't go because you ain't got no money. And she's not going to pay your way, is she?
No, she won't.
See?
She'll say, well, I'll see you when I get back.
Right. So long.
Yeah, that's how it is. No, she's got money.
Yeah.
If I brought up one of my pet peeves yet, if I talked about my pet peeve to our city mayor, have I said anything to you?
Oh, yes, you have.
Did I tell you about the grass?
Well, I can't remember if
that was
that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
I know the grass industry. Yes, before the show.
It was before the show.
Yeah, but we're on the live now.
Okay. I know it.
That's one of Mike Weatherford's.
I'm 100% behind you.
Hold on a minute. I'm getting told by the producer in my left ear, you got to take another break. You got to take a break.
The bills.
We got to pay more bills.
All right.
Folks, we're going to get back and we're going to talk about Mike Weatherford's pet peeve. We'll be right back.
This presentation of the Mike Weatherford Show is being brought to you by Napa Auto and Truck Parts. With over 95 years of experience, you can trust the Napa know-how. And
Take Me Back Cafe. Delicious home-cooked family-style meals in a nostalgic, warm, and inviting atmosphere. Take Me Back Cafe. Great for the entire family.
Welcome back to the Mike Weatherford Show. We're going to finish up tonight with Carlton Gerrell. We've covered a lot, Carlton. Billy, we've covered a whole lot tonight.
Yeah, we have. I got one other thing I was thinking about.
I want you to bust that in there.
We did retirement. So what about targeting the younger generation to try to keep them around here? There's not really much for...
That's a good question.
It is a great question. That's one of the things that we really have tried to target. We were on a really good path before COVID hit us and just disrupted everybody's world. In fact, we're going to be reworking on a thing called Preserve Paris, Positive Paris. In fact, we've got a meeting here shortly where we're getting community leaders about to address those needs. We had back in 2019, it was open to the public, anybody to come. And when we start announcing these meetings, y'all guys need to come. Everybody needs to come and be a part of them. We're going to be having more of these to talk about and brainstorm what are things we can do for everybody. And yeah, there is a big concern. Both of my boys right now, are they going to come back to Henry County when they get through with school? I don't know. One's going to be a lawyer, one's going to be a psychologist. Who knows? I hope they do, because all of us want our kids to come back.
Billy, that's an excellent question. I got a daughter's assistant manager at Walmart. My other daughter had 13 years of corporate world through AutoZone. She quit and come back to the shop.
Right.
My son was worked at some kind of big shot at a nursing home. He got tired of corporate world. He come back to my shop because I'm getting a little older and I'm going to slowly filter all them. But I got 10 grandkids, Carlton.
Yeah.
And I told you earlier, I love this town.
Yeah.
And I want them to be able to do something here. And I'm a firm believer. I'm like Mike Rowe. You know who he is?
Oh yeah.
I'm a firm believer in as college should be for a special few. We need more trade schools.
No, absolutely.
I'm working with right now. I got a young guy that's going to come to work for me. He's going to job shop to be a mechanic. The average age of the mechanics in these shops are almost 50 now.
I imagine.
That's the nationwide average. We're 850,000 techs short in 2019, the last year I got it.
Wow.
That's nationwide, 800,000 short of mechanics. But everybody wants to go to college and leave there with a big debt.
Everybody.
They leave there with a big debt because everybody don't need to be in college.
No, and I don't.
And we got carpenters that's looking. We've got plumbers that's looking. We've got all these plants around Paris that's looking, and we need to do a better job. And I'm taking my hat off now as a host of the show and putting mine on as a businessman and a grandfather. We're going to have to do a better job as a community of telling these kids it's okay to use your hands. It's okay to plumb a house. It's okay to wire a house. It's okay to fix a car, because plumbers and electricians and believe it or not, carpenters are some of your fastest growing millionaires in the world, house builders.
Oh yeah, I know.
Building these subdivisions and all. We need to go back like it was when I was school. How old are you, Carlton? Can I ask you?
57.
Well, you're younger than me. Mm-hmm. When I was in school, only the guidance counselors talked to certain. What do we call them back then? I'm older than y'all. What do we call a younger? The brains, maybe would be a good word. And they steered them toward college. And in my age group now, back in the days, they tend to tear us toward military or toward a career that we enjoyed. Now, education, I'm not against higher education. I know you're dying to say something, but I want to get that clear. I'm not against it, but everybody don't need to leave college with $100,000 in debt and live in their mama's basement when there's other jobs that's going by that's not getting filled that these people need to be looking at. HVAC, like what we need in here.
Well, I think it goes back to the school system, because one of the things with my daughter and that I've learned, and she's recognized it too, they're not really prepared. They don't teach them about life. I mean, they want to learn things that they could actually use. How to
tape measure. Can you read tape measure, Carlton?
Don't know how to balance
all the way down to what?
Balance a checkbook. Do some of them things like that. Do a loan. Do a loan or anything like that. Do something. Change a tire.
You're right. Or balance a checkbook.
Yeah,
read a tape measure.
Yeah, exactly.
But nobody writes a check. I'm one of the old guys. I got a checkbook. I don't have a debit card. I got a checkbook and cash. That's all I carry. I mean, I'm just old school. But and I'm not knocking the teachers. Neither is Billy.
Well, I don't mean that.
No, I know you didn't.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I mean,
it's what they're being pushed. We
got to do a better job, and it's just a community effort. It takes a community to raise children. We got to do a better job of telling them it's okay not to go to college.
Okay,
Now, tell me where I'm wrong, Mr. Carlton.
I'm not going to say you're wrong. The problem is this is my theory or my perspective of what I see is wrong. I was raised by both my parents are school teachers. My wife's a school teacher. So I've been around education all my life. My wife
That's why we hit you with this question.
Yeah, my wife was, she taught all through the Paris Special School District, went back to Henry County.
Didn't she teach at Cottage Grove?
Yeah, she was the principal there for 2 years.
That's right. I remember her out there.
And then she went back to PSSD, became a principal, then moved to central office, and then she went to work for the state of Tennessee. She was over the Northwest Tennessee for 3 years, and then she actually went into Martin and did a year over their teacher program for Martin, and then came back, and then now is the superintendent of the PSSD. Education is dear to me. Like you said, we've got a bunch of educated people in our house. I know that not everybody. There's a lot of misconception and theories out there, what people perceive that everybody's being forced to college. Well, teachers know who's not being
forced them, Carl. It's we have left that to the parents where they think their kids have got to go. Are they going to work for the street department down here?
Well,
are they going to work for the garbage truck?
Here's where it comes down to is that everybody has these grandiose ideas. It's like I remember years ago, a bunch of kids when I was really involved with the youth at church. A lot of these kids had, I'm gonna be a game developer, or I'm gonna make a living. How many people do that? It's kind of like the number of people who actually get to play professional sports. We have these dreams that sometimes it's great to have dreams, but I think we have to teach kids how to think. And I ran the Boy Scout troop here in Paris for about 6 or 7 years and was involved in boys from the age of 10 and a half up to 17. And I had, up one time, I had 50 boys in this group. So trust me, I've got a pretty good, and then raised 2 boys up. And this, dealing with boys and kids and adolescents, and then I think one of the greatest deterrents we have is this right here. These phones. Because there's so much information. My own kids, I struggle sometimes. How much time are y'all spending, growing up? How much time are you on your phone all the time? Well, sometimes you can learn. Like the other day, I need to change a bulb in my Expedition. I got on YouTube, showed me where the screws are, and
So you cost me money.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Right to my face.
Right to your face.
Go ahead.
But so there's stuff like that, and there's all this thing, and everybody, and it's like we're all behind to a degree, because we are working through the Paris Henry County Industrial Committee. Our guy that we hired a year and a half ago as the director, he's working with both school systems to do the things that Billy's talking about down there, to do common sense, do the things. This is life, but the kids have got to want to do it. They've got to want. They got to want to care. It comes from the home, and I personally, and this is
how to fix a lot of this problem.
What?
This is according to Mike. I told you I was going to be opinionated.
Yeah, I know it.
In my line of work that I do, I'm responsible for what I do.
Yeah.
Colleges are not. They get that Pell Grant money. They give you the paper, and they give you what. If you don't have anything you want to do, you go in and sit down. They'll get you a loan, and they give you a degree that's worth it. What if they had to be a little responsible? Quit handing out these like paper mills. Just say, I got a degree. That's a lot of it, Carlton.
There are some there.
Not a some. It's a lot. I know personally a lot of parents that's got kids that's got big debts with papers that ain't worth nothing, and the colleges got that money.
Right.
The parents got the debt because the children ain't got a job.
No, most of that's on the children.
Yeah, but the parents are paying it back.
Yeah, they are.
And they don't have a job to go to because that paper they got is like this one right here.
It's not worth, I get what you're saying.
Why don't they be a little responsible like you and I have to be?
Well, part of that is it's just, the parents.
It's free money.
It's free money. The parents are irresponsible. The schools are irresponsible.
That's right.
Everybody's irresponsible to the fact.
Would it be a little bit better if we told them it's okay, honey, or sir, or whoever, your kid don't have to get a degree. If he wants to be a doctor, that's okay. But there is other alternative. That's another subject.
And it is, but see, that's taught in our school system. Henry County school system, they're pushing that. They put them on tracks. They try to identify.
Yeah.
Back when I was in high school, I was kind of an either-or kid. Yeah. I thought about going, I scored high. We did the ASVAB test then, which is kind of a mechanical aptitude test that the Army gave, and I was pushed toward that. But I decided,
I was just trying to make it through without getting expelled so much.
Right. Well, I've done anyway. But, there was a point in time where I seriously considered toward the end of my college career because I was working part time at a restaurant supply company and worked all summer with our techs, that I thought, maybe I ought to do this. Because I found out this one guy that I really admire was an older gentleman who had HVAC, and he had one of the nicest houses in Jackson at that time. And
a few years ago, you know what the most millionaires, what industry they come out of? Dry cleaning. That was about 10 years ago.
You realize just a few years ago, our local dry cleaner was looking for somebody to buy it, and he couldn't get to you. But you know why? He couldn't find anybody.
Because it's hard work.
No, well, that plus everybody's worried about somebody to work because we have an ethics problem.
We got another story. Me and you talk about. You know what I promised the viewers that when we went to this last break, that I had a pet peeve. Remember that? Remember that, Billy?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what my pet peeve is: mowing grass. I have bitched to everybody. I bitched to the state rep. I bitched to Tater, I'm sure, and you're not going to get off here. That means bitching
fine.
Do you know of any ordinance about mowing grass? I'm not talking about bush hogging. That's going to happen. I'm talking about people just deliberately mowing it. That's a pet peeve to me.
Oh, it should be.
Because here's what bothers me about it, and people say it's dangerous on motorcycles. That is true. But the major problem is the road has a crown in it.
Yeah.
That crown's there to run the water off. Mm-hmm. And it also bounces and migrates metal, nails, screws, glass, all that over to the side of the road, and you mow it right back on the road.
Right.
And it's just tacky.
It is.
Well,
do you know of any?
Bush hogging is even worse.
It is terrible.
I don't even want to drive through that.
Oh, I got pictures you ought to see it by my house. But is there any
laws
laws against it, you know of?
I don't know. I've always told there is a law, and then people say, why don't you enforce the laws?
Right.
That's whole nother story in itself.
Will you come back?
Oh, absolutely.
We'll get back.
I can't wait.
We're going to get on to Mike Weatherford's pet peeves. And Billy's got his peeves.
Can I bring mine?
Yes.
I got pet peeves.
What is it?
We want to hear it.
Huh?
What, is it a quick one? Because your wife's going to shoot me. She's wanting you to come home. What?
You got to bring me back to hear it.
You're going to come back.
There you go. I like
Billy?
it. Yeah. Hey.
Talk
He's
to
learning.
him, Billy.
He's learning.
Well, answer me one question. Mm-hmm. What's your future plans in life?
Right now, I'm just enjoying life.
That's a good answer.
Because I know you were going to talk about I ran for county mayor and I didn't win.
Yeah. I had it in my notes, but I didn't bring it up.
But I'll bring it up. I've had a lot of people say, "What you gonna do?" Everybody's asking for 22. You know what? I just decided, and once again, I am a pastor, and before I even started to be the election,
so be nice.
Yeah, is that the word tells us in the Bible that He appoints kings and rulers, and so I look at He allows people to win or lose, and that whatever happened, that I was going to be fine with. Now, as a on one hand, as a man, none of us like to lose. I don't like to lose. You like to lose?
No, sir.
Billy?
No.
Once really, me too, obviously, but
I didn't mean that.
Yeah, really, yeah, but I just after I got through and got through and kind of got my feet up under me, I really have invested myself back in my church fully.
It humbled you.
Oh, it humbled me a lot, and the things I processed emotionally.
But I got to tell you one thing, Carl. I respect you.
Thank you.
And you're an April type guy. You're in my book. They don't come no better.
Thank you.
Because you've been nothing but nice to me since the first day I met you. Mm-hmm. And what little bit I've had with you through the city, you've always been straight up a nice guy. And what I've seen you do on social media, that's one reason why I got you in here.
Yeah.
Billy, don't you think he's been a nice guy?
Oh yeah, I've loved it.
I loved every minute of this conversation. Yeah. I hope that you haven't been bored.
I love it.
But you are a true Parisian. I'm going to call you a parasite. I'm going to call you a Parisian.
All right, thank you.
You truly love our city.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I've watched you in your eyes. So when I'm looking at you, you probably wonder, what's Mike thinking?
No, you're looking in. You're like I do. Watch people's eyes.
I look in your eyes and I can see what and you mean everything you say, and I respect that. And you really have no ill toward anything. You are trying to do what Carlton believes is right for his city. And people, that's what we need more of. We need more politicians that really, right or wrong, that truly believe what they're saying. I don't believe the wind blows this man around. I don't think he's going to do whatever somebody asks him to do. I think he's got his.
He's focused.
He's focused, and what he thinks is right through his relationship with God.
That's right.
He's got his relationship with God, and I think he applies that. But with all that being said, there's still other questions that I could beat you to death with.
Yeah.
Will you come back?
Absolutely.
All right,
Can't wait. When can I come back?
Well, anytime, brother.
All right.
Anytime you want to announce anything, come to the Mike Weatherford Show.
Oh, I will.
And I want you to tell people when you're out talking. And
I'm
want
gonna
you
tell
to-
them.
What's it like up there? You say, well,
Hot.
it's hot. All these lights are on you. I mean, what can I say?
Yeah.
But we've had fun, and I'm not
Absolutely.
hard on you.
No.
And I've made you feel welcome.
Absolutely.
And I really appreciate it, Carlton.
Yes,
I
sir.
want you to
Thank
come
you.
back.
I will. Look
Not
forward
quite like
to
the
it.
shop, is it?
No, it's sort of like the shop, but I'm like Taylor
Is it
said.
cooler in the shop?
Yes, we got air down there. It's hot, cold.
Why don't we do this in the shop?
That's what I'm trying to tell him over. You know, Taylor said to made the
Had the
comment.
bar.
Taylor made the comment to me. Said you're awful politically correct. I am a little different what you thought I'd be, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, I'm more. Am I politically correct? Is that the word to use?
I think you're just an honest man.
That's what I try to be. I've asked you questions, and all right, folks, we're going to cut it off tonight. We've had Carlton Gerrell, excuse me, Carlton. I want to butcher your name
That's
up.
all right.
Carlton Gerrell, the Paris City Mayor. We've been talking a little over an hour, and we've got in depth in some things. And my co-host Billy, he's got involved and asked him some questions, and Carlton has swore to me he'll come back.
Yep.
So I have not made him mad yet. So.
Nope.
Tune in, folks. There will be a part 2 to this one, and I'm sure to be here pretty quick. So tune in and see what else is we got going for the Mike's Weatherford Show. Billy, get us
sir.
out of here, my friend. Lead
All
us
right.
in prayer.
Lead us in prayer. I can do that and better watch it. But
I tell you about talking to Jesus.
No? What
He
about
said
it?
I was in good shape. He worried about you.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Well, you
Well,
know,
lead us- get us on out of here.
That's why I pray daily. So,
That's right.
you know,
Get us out of here, folks. We got to let this man go on to his wife.
Yeah, we got to get out of here. Y'all have a good one. Come back and see us, and we'll be right here at the Mike Weatherford Show.
Thank you, Carlton. Thank you, Billy. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
This portion of the Mike Weatherford Show was brought to you in part by 54 Fuel Mart, a great place to eat with friendly staff and some of the best gas prices in town. Stop in for a bite to eat and get treated like family. That's 54 Fuel Mart, 1213A West Wood Street in Paris.